Ashley, I have got to tell you a really funny story about the book of our guest today.
Tell me.
Well, we're wrapping up his audiobook. We wrapped it up yesterday with My Audio Rocks, and his narrator and the engineer, Alyssa, both kept gushing about how good this book was and how they were just so into it and they couldn't stop listening to it. And they both,
Kristen, they listen to stories all day long.
I know. And listen, they were both getting so lost in the story, they were forgetting to do their work. Like Alyssa was
such a great
forgetting to
compliment.
edit, and Bill was like, I'm no longer narrating, I'm reading the story, right? So I gave him such a hard time for distracting our team. So, and then it was at this point, and this tickled Roger so much. Alyssa blurted out about this story. I don't know who to trust.
That's such a good problem to have.
I know.
Great writing.
Great writing.
Welcome back to Authors Aloud, the podcast where we discuss all things books and storytelling. I'm Ashley Quinto Powell.
And I'm Kristen Heinz. We are so excited to welcome Roger Skrypczak to the show to talk about Emma's Demise, which is the latest in his Columbia County murder mystery series. Roger writes stories about ordinary people who find themselves caught in extraordinary circumstances. There's courtroom dramas, there's small town secrets, memorable characters, and plenty of twists that keep readers guessing.
For listeners who may be meeting you for the first time, tell us a little about yourself and how you came to writing mysteries.
Okay, well, I've married for 57 years. We have two wonderful children. And
by the way, that deserves applause. 57 years of marriage. Whew.
And we have 4 awesome grandchildren.
Great kids, but awesome grandchildren. I get it.
And we're very fortunate to have them all nearby. So it's great that we can see them quite often. As far as my writing career, I actually wrote a number of articles for a sporting magazine about 15 years ago. And it was more based on human interest versus how-to type of thing. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't write for a while, and I except for a few short stories that I was writing for my own benefit, I guess. And then when COVID hit, I was working from home. We weren't going out anywhere, out to dinner or anything, or going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of extra time on my hands, and I started writing a few more short stories. And a friend of mine read one of them, and he told me, wow, this is a book. He said, why don't you take it further, because there's a lot of material here. So I did, and that came out to be Tatum's Alibi, my first book. And then, one thing leads to another, and I wrote another one, which was Never Doubt Nadine. And of course, we followed up with Emma's Demise.
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe you just started writing novels during COVID. That's amazing.
What else could I do?
Well, I mean, I also survived the pandemic, and I
did not write a novel.
Did not write any mysteries.
No, me neither.
Roger, the title immediately grabs attention. Emma's Demise makes readers ask questions before they even open the cover or start the audiobook. How did you land on that title? And without giving away too much, what's this story about?
Yeah. Emma's demise, first of all, it connotates that, she is actually brought to justice. But justice comes in different forms. And in Emma's case, I think the readers will be somewhat surprised at how her demise comes about.
Interesting. So, fans of your previous books are going to be familiar with Mike Jorgensen, right? And several other familiar faces. What has kept you returning to these characters?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the interaction between the characters.
Uh-huh.
And as we read about them in subsequent books, we learn a little bit more about each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what really got me is that, just in my own life, the things that end up being, I end up having a relationship with that person as a
Mm-hmm.
friend, or in case of my wife, a romance. And, and also I see that with other people. And that's why I wanted to make sure that there was a continuity with those characters, so that when the reader reads about them and they get to know them, they can really relate to them with their own lives.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Roger, would you recommend readers begin with Emma's Demise, or should they read earlier Columbia County Mysteries first?
That's a good question. I get that often when I'm doing book signings.
Uh-huh.
But I think each of the books could be read separately or on their own, but they're going to miss out on the relationship building part of it,
Yeah.
and also they'll miss out on some of the aha moments, because there's some clues early on in the earlier books that will tell us more about those characters. So I think it's important that they start from the beginning and then finish with Emma's Demise.
Makes sense. Yeah. So let's talk about Wisconsin a little bit.
I love talking about Wisconsin. It's in my top 3 favorite things to talk about.
Well, these are all set in rural Wisconsin, and the setting almost becomes like another character, right? And so tell me about small town communities, what makes them such a rich territory for your mystery novels and this series in particular.
Okay. I think that probably comes from the fact that I grew up in a small town.
Okay.
And every town, whether it's a large city or a small town, has its own persona, if you will.
Yep.
But it doesn't always show its hidden virtues or lack of virtues in the veneer. So I think. Just like people, it's sometimes hard to really figure them out until you really get into it. And that's what I find interesting about all towns, and especially small towns. And so in themselves, they make interesting stories.
So where in Wisconsin did you grow up?
In Bayfield County, in a little town called Mason.
Oh, wow. And you're still in rural Wisconsin now?
No, I live in Appleton, which is,
okay.
It's part of the Fox Valley. It's kind of a metropolitan area. So.
Got it. So how much research, like let's get into the nitty gritty of you writing, right? How much research are you putting into every novel? What does that look like? Do you find yourself like studying, criminal procedures or legal cases or police investigations? Do you know people in these industries? Like, talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, unless you consider binging on Law and Order.
I do. I consider that research.
Research. You have to remember this is fiction.
Sure.
And so there's not a lot of research that a person needs to go into. I do have a couple of attorney friends that kind of keep me from going off the rail. But
they're like, no, that's not a thing. Right. Yeah.
But in general, as long as it's reasonable, the situations are reasonable and believable, I think people can relate to it. And to be perfectly honest, I don't do a lot of research.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like I could be a master mystery novelist if that's all we're doing with the true crime I watch. I'd be like, I'm always telling my husband will say something about like some crime. And I'm like, no, let me tell you something. Like, no, that's not how that's going to happen. Nope.
Well, you need to put it on paper. That's what you need to do.
I do think that's true, that Kristen is probably 5 minutes worth of effort into becoming a true crime writer.
True.
Because of all of that research. It is worth mentioning, Roger, that the My Audio Rex headquarters is in Dane County, Wisconsin.
Oh, really? Madison?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
In fact, where all three of the books are centered in Columbia County, which is just north of Dane County.
Yeah. I mean,
that's awesome.
This is just a beautiful part of the country. Tell me, every author has one character who was simply fun to write. Did anyone in Emma's Demise surprise you by becoming a favorite?
Yes. And I can say that without without any reservations. And it is Lenny, the lesbian police officer who eventually becomes the sheriff of Columbia County. And the reason I like her is she earned her chops as a sniper in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And she became a police officer, but she's tough as nails. She's independent, but she is she'll kill you if you are threatening her loved ones or her friends without reservation. And that's what I like about her. She's caring, and yet really hard-nosed when it comes to the law.
Yeah, that's exciting. I love characters like that. I love strong female characters that are just kind of no nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really love those characters. Yeah, very fierce, very fierce. And then I end up having like a crush on them. And I'm like, oh. So I have a couple of questions. You just recently finished your audiobook, like literally yesterday. We wrapped up your audiobook. What was it like hearing your book? And hearing all these characters come to life?
Wow, that's a great question because I heard it so many times. I went through it.
Yeah. Let's go with the first time.
The first time I heard it, I was thinking, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I just, when I read it to myself and I read it out loud, I hear myself, but I don't hear somebody else telling the story.
Yeah.
And that's what was so cool about the whole thing, that somebody else was telling that story.
Yeah.
And I really could get into it. And I found myself really interested in it. Can you imagine that?
What's going to happen? Right? I love that.
Well, this was also fairly unusual for us because we have many authors who want to voice their own audiobook, and I understand that the narrator that you picked was just outstanding.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. Yeah. Bill Rogers, we'll give him a call out. He did a great job, and I'm so glad to hear that. We actually, Roger, I'm gonna tell you this really quickly. We have an author we've worked with a few times. Her name's Julie Moffat, and we had her on this show as well. And I've been narrating a voice for her for many, many years. She has never listened to one of the audiobooks that I have done because it freaks her out to hear the voices in her head talking to her. So she has other people listen to them and go through them and make sure all of the edits are correct. But I find that hilarious. Authors are quirky people, and I totally get it. But I love that you enjoyed it. I love that you were into it. That's really, really great.
Yeah, I was really delighted with it.
Yeah. So when someone listens to the closing chapter of your book or reads that last page, what do you want to stay with them about Emma's Demise specifically?
Oh, another good question.
I'm full of them. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I think people should realize that most people are not all bad or all good, and that people that are bad are not necessarily, I don't know how to put this. I should say there should be some sort of understanding of how they got there. And I try to do that with all of my villains, if you will, is to give them a background where, well, as an example, we have Emma, who was born and raised in she had everything she wanted. She was privileged. Her brothers always protected her, made excuses for her all the time. And so she had everything she wanted, but she always wanted more. And because of that, she had no moral compass, and she ended up the way she was.
It's interesting. I think I heard an actor say at one time, and I think this is what correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is what you're getting to the heart of. I heard an actor, I can't remember who it was, talking about playing, villains or bad guys, that kind of thing. And they said that no matter what they're playing, they have to find the humanity in that role. Right. And those are my favorite kinds of stories where the good people have bad things about them that they're struggling with, and the bad people have humanity to them, because you're right. Nobody's completely one or the other.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Roger, can readers expect another Columbia County mystery, or are you working on something entirely different?
No, we're working on another, the fourth in this series, and it's narrated by my favorite character.
The sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff. And it's a totally different romance with her wife, Liz. And it's a totally different murder mystery, and there's a lot of twists and turns, a lot of things, and I'm hoping that when they finish reading that, they're also going to say, "Oh, I didn't see that coming."
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm so excited.
I am too. We like to do a little fun thing where we just give you some kind of rapid fire questions. They're not very many, and they're not hard. So you're good. You're safe with us, Roger.
I like easy.
You're safe with us.
Okay.
I'll start first, and Ashley can pick up second. Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Yeah.
Do you write in the morning or at night?
Night.
One word that readers have used to describe your books that made you smile.
Shocked.
Good. That's awesome. I love it. Roger, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's been delightful. Really. I enjoyed this very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Roger. And truly congratulations on some major, major feats. This is really incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
If you'd like to learn more about Roger Skrypczak and pick up a copy of Emma's Demise, be sure to check out the links in today's show notes.
And if you enjoyed today's conversation, subscribe to Authors Aloud, leave us a review, and share the episode with another reader who loves a great mystery. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.